So, the trip is basically over, and I just wanted to make a last video to kind of tie it all together. I will also make, when I arrive in Sweden, I will make a kind of image video, probably a bit longer than the ones I just have Google make, of a week or so. So maybe it will be kind of the highlights of the entire trip. Anyhow, I'm Japan 2025 is the first trip I've been alone, traveling here alone since 2008. So, and I think this is, in many regards, it's a good experience, especially for me, and a bit of going back to the beginning in the sense of how I reason and how I appreciate Japan and see what has changed, both in my behavior as well as what I appreciate and Japan in general. Living alone and stuff like that, and not what is the difference of me being here with someone and being here alone, and how how does a trip like this fare against all the trips with other people. Technically, right now, Andreas is in Japan as well, but we are more separate than in previous trips where we almost did everything together. So I still count this as alone. So now I would say that probably it is it's both very it is both harder and uh, more flexible to be by oneself. The harder thing is that uh, I there are so many things you can do in Japan that I don't no longer feel a need of doing because I've done it so much, and I skip a lot of those things. So when you're alone, at least when I'm alone, I tend to uh, kind of disregard some options that are available, and since, for instance, shabu shabu, I would not have eaten shabu shabu if I hadn't been able to find someone, in this case Adolf, to go with, because some foods are simply not, they are communal foods, communal in the way that it's a sociable experience as well. Not only that you eat good food, but it is a food in which you talk with other people, and everything feels less worth it if you're doing it by yourself than you. I rather eat it in another way if I can't be social. Uh, Shabu shabu is one of those foods. Yakiniku is the same. Kushikatsu, I would say. Kushikatsu, it's kind of like fondue, you can say. You have food on sticks that you put down in kind of a fryer. Those kinds of foods are also something that you do as a social experiment, but since it's actually more efficient than the other ones. It I could definitely see myself just doing that, just putting things and then eating and putting things and eating. It's more like a single person buffet. It's more it's better for that, but I still would prefer to do it with people. Every kind of thing where you have kind of ups and downs in the eating process. I think I like it with others. So getting to do certain things is a bit harder, since the motivation is lacking, and but it's also very much easier because I can think, plan, organize, execute so much quicker than with any other person. I mean, it doesn't matter who I'm thinking about, no one synchronizes better with oneself than you do by yourself. Because people, for instance, if I were to be with a new friend, I would one change my way of thinking and thinking like what would be the greatest experience for them that I also want to be part of, or where I'm not bored out of my mind. And I would try to ask them for opinions. They don't have opinions. This is very usual, and some people have opinions, but a lot of people are like, "Oh, so what would you like to do in general in Japan?" I don't know. I like coins or something like that. I mean, people have a very hard time to access their own thoughts in a way which I find super frustrating because I don't have that problem. I more have that I have more a series of if this then that when it comes to a lot of things like I know I want to do this, but I want to do this under these circumstances. If this circumstance is here, I want to do this. And if someone asks me, what do you want to do? And depending on the person that is asking and depending on the situation, I might say I know what I want to do, but I don't want to tell it for several reasons. One, it might change depending on the situation. I know exactly if you are hungry, I know where I want to eat and where we are gonna eat because you haven't been there or something like that. I have a clear idea for almost every possible option, but I don't. If I'm with someone else, I don't like it when if someone says, "Oh, what do you want to do?" Yeah, I'm gonna go to Mandarake, and they, "Oh, I'm gonna go with to Mandarake," and it's like, okay, sure, but if I'm gonna do something with someone, I like it that they are participatory in the decision instead of just tagging along on my decision because then my decision changes as soon as you say you're gonna go to Mandarake. Then I say, okay, let's go to Book Off or let's go to Animate. Because if I'm going to one place, I probably have an idea of what I want to do there. If I expect you to go with me, I might already say something like that, but then I don't ask. Then I'm just saying today I'm gonna do something like this. Do you want to come with? But people usually when you ask them, they don't have this clear kind of thing, if idea of what they want to do. And this uh, being by yourself, it's easier. Being with someone else, especially people that have a hard time accessing their own feelings and idea of what they want to do, that is one of the most frustrating things, but it's also one of the more exciting things. If I can ask them, like, I love introducing Japan to people. I mean, it's one of the highlights of many of trips is when I meet people and I show them something, or vice versa is also good, even though it's very seldom that happens nowadays, but it's very nice. But it's nice if they can answer. If we are here together with some friends, almost everything circulates in doing an experience together. And I've tried these kind of group trips sometimes where we come here as a group, and the idea is that someone says what they're gonna do, and other people might join. It has worked and not worked in certain ways due to people's personality differences, and uh, for me, I think that if I were to do something like that again, I need one, the trip needs to be long enough so it can be natural gaps in everything, because then I would probably plan some chunks here and there, and then I will try to do my own thing and do a schedule of like, here I will do my own thing, and here I will do this. You might join, you might not join. Like, yeah. So that is one of the things, and the hard thing, like I said, is that I deprioritize a lot of things I would have liked to do because it's been harder to get other people to do it, and finding random people, more or less. It's very hard in the way I wanted to. My Japanese, the barrier are slowly getting more visible right now, and a lot of what I want to do requires more time, which has been a negative factor because I realize I will have a very hard time going to Japan for just a month anymore. I mean, all of my needs are getting so deep into the society that it takes a bit of time for it to start going and to get everything connected in such a way that I mean, it's so obvious I need to move here to get the next level of experiences I want. And this has been a very fun realization as well as sad when the trip is coming to an end, realizing I need to adjust things. Another thing about this trip that I really, really liked and I've told before is that driving a car and not having everything planned like I did on Kyushu. It was a great experience, one of the greatest experiences I've had since the first trip, I must say. And it would probably have been better if I had been able to share it with someone else and not just by myself. But it's also good to do things alone, in the same way as the first trip was very, very good. This trip hasn't been as great as that one. I think that profound change in my outlook of life is impossible to get again for Japan. I don't. I think that maybe moving here will probably have struggles I've never realized. I've never experienced before that might have the same kind of impact, maybe, or maybe I'm too prepared already for that. But yeah, experiencing Japan in that way, I imagine that many countries are the same. I mean, I've not really done this in Sweden. I've done it in Poland, and the outcome of that was bizarre to say the least. And then I haven't done it in Germany per se, but yeah, in most countries, I would say doing something like driving around and trying to find something is nice. The problem in Japan right now, and I think in most popular tourist destination countries, is especially if you are trying to avoid the tourists, it's hard to know what will draw the tourists and not, because everything you look at will feel like that. So, for instance, the field there with the caves that I went to, almost nobody there, other than some Chinese and Japanese people. And then the waterfall in the grove in the middle of uh, Kyushu, too much people and a touristy overpopulated spot. You kind of can figure out what is popular if you have an easier time to find information in several languages about it that are secondhand or influencer or social media sources. Then if it's a lot of that popularized and pretty recent, like 2024 or 2025 even, then avoid it if you don't want to be around tourists. And you can also use the Google's heat map, like how many people have been here the several days. Then you can see, okay, there are a lot of activities in these areas and not in these areas. Uh, so yeah, and getting to know locals is a good thing. The only problem with that is that it takes more time. Like in Nagasaki, if I would have planned better and stayed over there, I would probably have gone out to a bar or an izakaya and tried to get to know people that way. And things like that is it takes more time to actually get something out of it, so longer journey. So if you want to kind of do what a lot of Japanese people interested in Japan want to do, go through all the prefectures as I myself want to do, then 1 day per prefecture or even less that is it depends on your experience. Do you just want to have achieved it or do you want to actually be there? It takes time. So you can do like all the prefectures, 47 of them in 60 days without a problem. I mean, some of them are really close and others are far apart. I mean, on Hokkaido, the entire Hokkaido is just one. And that is a bit unfair, but it's like Norrbotten. I mean, Luleå, not Umeå, but Kiruna. I mean, it's a large space, and the north usually seems to get divided in those kinds of areas, especially if you have a long, narrow country. Uh, so yeah, traveling was very fun, very exhausting as well, but it was fun and the most giving of this trip. Uh, the studying here, studying at university at the same time, I have now done it twice. Last time I had 3 months. This time I had just 1 month, and it's it actually destroys a lot of the freedom in Japan to needing to plan around this so much. It's good to have something. I prefer to have classes and goals and exams and things to work for. The university course right now is going in the wrong direction. A lot of it is going towards academia, and that is boring and destroys my motivation a bit for doing stuff since I want to be able to integrate into Japan. I don't care about a lot of these. They have kind of a small application, and I understand why, but it still is a boring approach. So I want more to be able to practice the language and maybe that it focuses more on language learning. But so right now, my aim is just to complete this course, and after completing the course, I will probably not proceed. Maybe with smaller courses, I don't know. But I the aim of Dalarna is a bit maybe it's not really for me. The bachelor's degree, if I need it, I will try it. But I hope I won't need it because the kind of work I want to do doesn't really require it. It's more important to actually be able to speak, read, and write Japanese, and I feel like it's going away from that. So yeah, yeah, doing my project sounded fun in theory, but it's very hard. I think that if I were to choose a better location for it, it would work. But uh, and a better date. During Golden Week, it's horrible to do this. Japanese people are already a bit apprehensive about foreigners, and foreigners with a freaky look doesn't help, I think. And that is also one thing I found right now when I am a bit older. My look is, in some situation, helps me a lot, and in other situations, actually destroys my possibilities in a lot of things. People assume I am someone. Wait a moment. Uh, I am someone to watch out for due to being so divergent from the normal standards, I guess. And maybe that will be a problem when I move here as well. But since I'm moving here as a student first, I don't think it will be because I think, at least from my own perspective, I think I have a pretty good grasp on Japanese society and culture, so I could kind of overcome most of those struggles. But we see. The project was not a good one, and most of my report will probably resolve around the difficulties more than the results. I have some results, and I mean I have some people that did it as a test as well. So I will use that and I will write a report and then I see what happens since I write of the experience in the target grammar and the language that she wants. It won't be as much data as possible. I should have just gone for an interview with a friend maybe, but I wanted something better, and it would have worked better if I one had come here earlier and worked on it longer, and also worked on it in a setting where it wasn't that unnatural as it is now. Yeah, apartment wise, I both before coming here and trying to look and locate apartments that fill a certain standard, I think that this year and last year has helped me a lot, and I am pretty certain that it can work. Uh, Moving here, and I know that it will be done in chunks. I mean, I can send quite a lot of things here from Sweden, but I don't want more than necessary if I move here or when I move here. If I move here permanently is more the question. If it's just temporarily or permanently. My goal is permanent, but then I need to have a job that pays enough as well, so I can maintain costs both in Sweden and Japan. We'll see what happens. So yeah, good trip, very good trip. One of the best trips I had. Going here alone is good, but I think that I now prefer it to do with someone, even though that someone is not doing the same things. I mean, last year, me and Rigo was here at the same time, and Rigo, he didn't do most of the things I did. I also was held back a bit by that because sometimes I wanted to do things but didn't want to leave him alone for too long, and his initiative by himself were slower than mine, but I think that it would work anyway. And having someone that is more separate from you than, say, a partner, that is, uh, it's good in the way that you can do separate things and you do a lot of things together. So every time you need someone to do something, you at least have someone almost available for doing things which at least I don't find fun to do by myself. Some experiences would be more fun with more people. I didn't go to the disaster museum, for instance. Two reasons: tourist attraction due to social media hype, and also because it's more fun to do with someone and talk about the experiences and your realization about stuff and like that. So that would have been a good thing to have someone to share some experiences with. Like Kyushu experience would have been perfect and easier with someone actually doing that, especially when I'm trying to navigate and I don't want to look at the phone or something like that, when I'm driving. It would have been uh, a good alternative. Also, I don't think it's unfeasible to have a decent apartment without living in a share house. A share house is a good thing because you get to get close to a lot of people that usually have the same interests, but it's also a louder thing. It's a lot more activity around you, and I sometimes need my own peace and quiet, and a share house is almost like a overgrown student corridor. Too many people and too noisy people and parties, and when I don't want to be social, I want to be able to isolate myself. And this apartment complex, for instance, very quiet. It does have a hostel at the bottom level, and that hostel if you go down that entrance, sometimes there are activities there, but they have strict rules of at 9 quiet, especially there in the apartments. Quiet-ish. You can talk, you can have meetings and stuff. You are just not allowed to have too loud outward noises, and I haven't had no problems and no complaints. Um, so yeah, um, mhm. I look forward very much to actually make my own apartment here because there are so many convenient things that I uh, think are too expensive in Sweden and also not as convenient. Ways to efficient make an apartment efficient and cozy without it making it like a trash heap or too cluttery. So I look forward to trying to optimize a living space in Japan. That is, I mean, you have so many options, both new and secondhand, that I like to try. Anyhow, I'm now gonna do everything I need to do before trying to enjoy my last day. So thank you for everything, and I am also more interested in doing YouTube because of this. But I probably will try to focus more on my Japanese journey and development so I have something to look back upon. This is just a way to express and organize my feelings, which I find very helpful. So this is the last video other than the image video I'm gonna make a week or so for now. It depends. So hope you have enjoyed it.